Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the California State Library ProQuest Newspaper Collections demo. My name is Sophia Louie, and I am the Electronic Resources Librarian in the Information Services section of the California State Library. I'm here today with Amanda Riccio. She's from ProQuest. She'll be doing a presentation, and then we'll go into the live demo of our newspaper collections. So a quick note about accessing the ProQuest newspapers. You do need a California State Library card to access the newspaper collections and also most of our online resources. So you'll just go to library.ca.gov/apply if you don't have one yet. I'll also post a link to the application in the chat. It's very quick and easy. There's a few fields to enter, and then once you apply, you'll get a virtual library card almost instantly in your email box, and then you can peruse all our wonderful resources. So I just wanted to show you a quick list of the links that we have on the online resources page. These are the collections that you can find on that page. That includes Ethnic NewsWatch, Los Angeles Times, both current and historic ProQuest Black Studies collection, the SF Chronicle historic, and also historic and current U.S. major dailies, and that includes the Chicago Tribune, LA Times, New York Times, Wall Street Journal, and the Washington Post. So to get to those collections I just showed you, you'll go to our online resource page, but first you'll have to go to library.ca.gov, and then you'll click the online resources page button, which is right here on the home page. And then this is where all our online resources are housed. They're organized alphabetically. There's links at the top for each section. So if you know the title, you can click that and be taken to that section. You can also search our online resources by filters using the filter on the left-hand side. So for an example, I'm going to go to the SF Chronicle historic collection. So I'll just go to S. I'll scroll you all the way down automatically to the S section, and then SF Chronicles right here. So once you click this, you will be taken to our authentication page, and that's what this looks like. So for this, you'll have to log in with your library card credentials to tell the system that you are an authorized user to access that collection. So once you enter all that information, you'll be taken to the database. So now I am going to hand it off to Amanda, and she is going to do a presentation and demo of our collections.
Okay, so again, we're going to be talking all about your ProQuest newspapers. And just to quickly introduce myself, my name is Amanda Riccio. I am one of the customer success and training managers here at ProQuest, and which is now part of Clarivate. I work with the entire state of California, and I've been at ProQuest for 3 years now. And before that, I worked for about 8 years in public libraries. So I did have the opportunity to work with some of these news products before I actually joined ProQuest. So I'm always happy to talk about them with you. And if you have any questions for me after our session today, please feel free to reach out. I'm happy to answer any questions or help however I can. The best way to reach me is the email that you see on the slide, which is training@proquest.com. And I'll be sharing that with you in the chat and towards the end in our additional resources as well. And my session objectives for us today, by the end of the session, you will be able to discover relevant titles, search through individual and multiple collections, as well as browsing issues by date. Okay, and just to get things started, to talk a little bit about the content itself. So Sophia already kind of went through this in her initial slides, but these are all of the newspaper collections that you have access to through ProQuest. So you have historical newspaper collections. You'll see them referred to as H&Ps. So the San Francisco Chronicle, which spans from 1865 to 1922. And then you also have the historical US major dailies, 1849 up until 2020. And this collection is comprised of 5 different newspaper collections. And then the recent newspapers, or the RNPs, we have the Los Angeles Times, which is about 1985 up until the current day. And then we also have the recent US major dailies, which covers 1980 up until the current day. And this is where the recent San Francisco Chronicle is located in this particular collection. And you also have access to both Ethnic NewsWatch and ProQuest Black Studies that covers 1650 up until the present day. I listed them as other because they are not just newspapers. They have multiple other different document types within them, but they also have some really amazing newspaper collections within them, and they are 2 great resources for newspaper articles. And I put this deck together before I saw Sophia's deck, so if you came in a little later, again, these are all listed on the California State Library website. We'll be going through that in the live demo portion. So on the online resources page, they are listed out individually. They're also listed under all of the ProQuest databases, so you do have multiple ways of searching through these collections, whether you'd like to just look through one paper specifically, or if you'd like to search through multiple papers at once. And we'll try to go through an example of both of those today. All right, so let's talk a little bit about searching through the collections and working with the results. So again, there are multiple ways that you can search through these collections. We can do it individually. We can do multiple papers at once. We can do a publication search. We can search within individual issues. So I'm going to try to cover as much as I can here and just start out by talking a little bit about doing the basic search. So for this example, I chose one of the historical newspaper collections, the US major dailies, which again is not just one newspaper, it's a combination of all 5. So if I'd like to search within all 5 of the papers, I can type in any keywords, author names, titles that I'd like directly into the basic search bar, and then go ahead and click search to get a full scope of everything that will come up within this collection for me. So I typed in the term climate change and came up with almost 155,000 results. So the default sort by is relevance. There are multiple ways that we can search through this collection. I can go through kind of the center of the page. Everywhere that the words climate change appear will be highlighted in blue. From this page, I can see if I have my full text option, I can get a quick little snapshot of what the newspaper article is about. My filters will be on the left side of the page. So I can see the default sort by is relevance. I have other ways of sorting. I can limit to full text. We have publication dates and so on. And I do also want to mention that if you have a My Research account for any of the databases that are located on the ProQuest platform, you are able to do things like save your searches, save individual documents, create search alerts that can be emailed to you. So if you know that you're going to be searching through these newspapers and would like that alert, this is a really convenient way for you to get those newspaper articles without having to check the database. So from my previous page, I selected the first article that came up for me, which was titled, "It's Not Easy Being Green." And then once I select that, I'm taken to the next page. And because this is a historical newspaper, they are all full text PDFs. And you can see that's the default view that I have when I clicked on this particular article. It will lead me directly to the page of the newspaper where the article is located. I also have the page view PDF available as well, but we can see that the search term climate change is now highlighted in red, so I can easily scroll through the document and see all the places that this has come up for me. The toolbar at the top, I can add notes if this was a longer article. This one is only 3 pages, but let's say it's 20. I can pull up the table of contents and scroll through there. I can also save or export from this view as well. And then in the top right, you'll also notice that we have options to download the PDF, the citation. You can also copy the URL, print it out, and then we have multiple other options for you as well. So I can just look at this article here on this page. If you notice up at the very top, you'll see the Browse This Issue link. So if I am interested in seeing more of the context around this particular article, or maybe I'm just interested in what else this paper has reported on this particular month or year, I can always easily click on the Browse This Issue to take a closer look. So now we can see I am not just looking at the one particular article anymore. I am looking at all 294 pages of this particular issue. I can jump to a specific page if I'd like. I can just scroll back and forth to view the entire thing. And then I have all of my editing options still at the top of this page as well. And then if I'd like to, browse the entire thing at once, I can always open it up, get the full page view. And then you'll notice that purple box that is outlined on the issue itself was the result of me hovering my mouse over that particular article. So if you are looking at the full issue and want to immediately zoom in on any one particular article, you can easily click on it and bring it up to read that way. We also have an advanced search available within all of our newspaper collections. And I like to bring this up, not just because, of course, you can get a more specific search this way. So, of course, you'll see at the top, you have your options like command line, field codes that are recognized by the ProQuest platform. Searching tips are a really great resource here as well. If you, for example, were interested in knowing exactly which Boolean operators are recognized on the ProQuest platform, you could easily find those listed here. So you can type in as many rows as you'd like. You can specify a publication date. But I like to point out that we have this really nice document type filter on the advanced search page. So if you are looking for something specific, like maybe an obituary, a classified ad, an editorial article, this is a really nice way to be able to sort from those right off the bat. So you can click any specific document types that you're looking for from the advanced search, and then search your information that way. I'm going to share the link to the LibGuide with you here, but we have a lot of really great resources for the ProQuest historical newspapers. We have multiple news LibGuides, but I like to point this one out in particular just because there's so much great information on it, especially if you are doing any kind of genealogy research. We have a lot of great user guides as well as more in-depth PowerPoint presentations if you are interested in looking more about our historical newspaper collections. All right, and I did mention that there is another way to search through this historical newspapers, and I wanted to just quickly kind of talk about browsing them by calendar date. So in addition to doing the basic search or the advanced search, you can also do a publication search within any of these collections. And there are a couple different ways that you can search through. I'm still in the US Major Dailies historical collection, so I can immediately type in whatever I'm looking for in the search box up at the top. It defaults to in title. You have multiple options there to search through. Or we have an alphabetical list of all of the publications that are listed here. So I can scroll through all of these, click on the letter that I'm interested in, and then be taken directly to that page. And I just happened to click on the first one, which was the Chicago Daily Tribune. So once I've done that, now I have even more ways that I can search through this specific historical newspaper. So I have a choice now to search only within this publication, or you can see we still have that advanced search button here as well. All these pages will list the full text and the citation coverage, so you know exactly which dates are covered within this particular newspaper. And then once I've chosen an issue to view, I can change the year, the month, or the day to show just that issue contents. And then once I've done that, I can scroll through. So we see the example here. There are 92 articles in this particular issue. So if I'd like to search through all 92 of those, I do have another search box that comes up for me if I want to search just through this specific issue. And then of course, you'll notice those same cite, save, print, email options are available through all of these pages as well. Okay, so now I'm going to hop over to the California State Library website to get started on the live demo. If you did have any questions about the content in these collections, please feel free to type them into the chat as I switch screens. All right, so hopefully you are seeing the California State Library website. I'm just on the home page. I haven't logged into my account. Again, I know Sophia was talking a little bit about getting a library card. If you don't already have one, the link is also at the top of this page as well. Or if you already do have an account, you can easily log in just at the top here. But for now, I'm going to scroll down just a little bit and then click on the online resources button. So with the ProQuest newspapers, they are broken up into individual links. So we could click on any one of those. Or if I go to the letter P and then get taken to that topic, we do have just a general ProQuest databases link as well. And I am going to be using this one today because we're going to be going through multiple collections. So I'm just going to click directly on this. Okay, and then I was given a I was given my own temporary card, so I'm going to log in with this information here. So now I am on the kind of the homepage for all of the ProQuest resources. I can see that I'm logged into the California State Library, and I'm searching through all 17 of the databases that you have available through us. So if you wanted to, if you really wanted to get a full scope of whichever search that you are looking for, you could always just start your search from this page. And then if you go to source types, you can filter by historical newspapers or recent newspapers as well. So that's always an option for you. I am going to go to the full list of all of your databases. And I'm going to start out with the one that I was using as an example on my slides, just so we can go through a collection that has multiple newspapers within it. So I'm going to scroll down here. And I'm going to go to the current US major dailies. So I can click right on this, or I can also expand my options as well. So if I am just looking, for example, for the recent news paper in the Los Angeles Times, I can click on this right off the bat to just search through this particular collection, or I can click on this link to search through all 5 of the newspapers. And they are all listed here as well. So I could click on these links from this page as well. It'll always tell me my coverage, so 1980 up until the current day. My 3 ways of searching are up here at the top. So I've got my basic, advanced, and the publication search as well. But just to start things off, I'm just going to stay on the basic search page. And then because I want something that's going to give me a lot of results, I am going to type in the word climate and click on search. And now that I've done so, I can see I have just under 380,000 results that have come up for me. So from here, I have multiple options, what I would kind of like to do from here. So default sort by is relevance. I can change that to oldest or most recent first if I'd prefer. I can limit to the full text. And then directly underneath that, you'll see multiple source types are available too. So of course, newspapers are probably always going to be the highest number of results that you get back. But I always like to point out that we have items like audio and video in here as well. There's a category for blogs, podcasts, and websites. We have magazines. And then if I click on my more link, if there are any more, they will show up here. For this particular database, we just have these 4. But if we do this, I can also see that I have the option to exclude any source types that I'm not interested in. So maybe I'm just looking for newspapers and I'm not interested in any of the magazines or the audio and video options. So I can filter those out of my search from here if I'd like. And then directly underneath that is our publication date range. Because this is a recent newspaper collection, the farthest I can go back is 1980. But maybe I'm only interested in 1990 up until the current day. I can just easily toggle these gray tabs and then update, or I can also add a more specific date range if I'd prefer. And then the rest of the filtering options are down here as well. So we have, the publication title, document types, subjects, the company or organization, and so on. So no matter which newspaper collection that you're browsing through, the layout of your results page will remain consistent, but the options that you have on the left side of the page may differ. We are looking through 5 different newspaper collections, and so I have multiple source types. The publication date is very specific. Document types might look a little bit different, just depending on which ones that you're kind of looking through and whatever is available in any one particular collection. But in terms of the results, these will always look the same. So again, your site email, download, save to my research account, all of those options, you'll see those everywhere on the ProQuest platform throughout all of these collections. Anything that is a full text will be labeled as such on the right side of the results, as well as at the bottom of the box as well. If you'd like to take a quick look at any one of these results, you can click on our quick look button, and then you'll get kind of a basic summary, as well as all of the subjects, and then any locations and where it is found. So if we just did kind of a general search through that main ProQuest homepage where we had all 17 of the databases listed out, I might see more listed here, but because, of course, we're in the US major dailies, we can just see that one listed out here. And for every search that I run, either using the basic or the advanced search, I'll get videos that match my search, so we can see a couple that have come up here. And if I'm interested in more, I can either click on the link here, or I can also click on the Show More Videos button as well. Sorry, I saw a couple of questions come through the chat, so I'm taking a look here. So someone asked, is the copy URL option going to provide a permalink to the article? If so, does that link expire after a period of time? So yes, it does provide a permalink, and it will not expire as long as that article remains in the database. And someone else has asked, does the website source include all that you would find on the website version of a newspaper, or is it selected? Selective. So this does depend. We'll see when we do a publication search that there are different categories, because some newspapers do have both the physical paper and an online version, and then sometimes they're listed as having maybe a separate blog or a podcast. So it really does depend on each publication, but we'll take a look at an example that kind of has everything so you can see how it's all listed out. Okay. So just as an example, I'm going to go ahead and click on this first article. So we are in the recent newspaper collection, and one of the biggest differences between the recent newspapers and the historical newspapers is that the recent newspapers are all going to be full text. You'll notice that there is no PDF option on the side of the screen like there was in the screenshot that I had in my slide deck. We'll see when we look through a historical newspaper collection, you will have those options. But for the recent newspapers, they are going to be overwhelmingly full text. And that's exactly what I see when I click on this particular result. I have a translate feature up here at the top, so I can translate this article into multiple languages. You also have a text-to-speech option here as well, so I can click on the listen button and have the article read out loud to me. Because my keyword was climate, anytime that appears within the article itself, that's going to be highlighted in blue. So if we do have longer articles, this is a really nice way to be able to kind of scroll through and see exactly when this keyword or an author name or whatever my search was for is highlighted within the text. Again, all of your options up in the top right corner. You also have suggested sources on the right-hand side of the screen as well. I will mention to you that very shortly, we are going to have an AI feature within the ProQuest platform, and that will start appearing on the right side of the page. I believe it's going to be released in August. So this will look a little bit different than we're seeing right now. It's just another tool to kind of help find related sources to what I have already searched. So right now we're kind of seeing this static box for suggested sources. So I can scroll through all of these. Again, take that quick look if I'm interested in looking at any one of them in particular. And then underneath that, we also have a box for searching with indexing terms, which is a really nice way to see what types of subjects are available that have already been indexed on the ProQuest platform and in this particular database. So I can select any subjects that I'm interested in. If there are multiple locations listed, I can select any one of those as well. And then I can choose to rerun a search from here. So multiple ways to search through this particular database. And I'm going to go back to the home page. They're still in the major dailies. I just want to point out that advanced search option and how this might look a little bit different, again, just depending on which newspaper collection that we're looking through right now. So this will always look the same up at the top. All of these options, you'll start out with 2 rows. You can add as many as you'd like. And then you'll always have that limit to full text and then the publication date as well. If you'd like to specify a date range, you can do so here. And now again, because we are looking through a collection that have multiple newspaper collections within them, we have a little bit more options on our advanced searching page. So we have boxes for subject heading, company and organization, person, location, and so on. We have really nice lists to look up all of these as well. So again, if you're not sure which specific subject heading has been put into the ProQuest platform, you can easily look that up here. The same 4 source types that we saw on our results page are listed here as well. And then we have a very long list of different document types. Again, this is a really great place to start looking for those. When I was working in public libraries, I frequently got asked to help with items like obituaries or letters to the editor. So this is a nice starting point for all of those. And then whichever languages are available, those will be listed here as well. Okay, so I'm going to go into our publication search here, just because I know it'll have a larger number. And then we can kind of take a look at this blogs, podcasts, and websites filter as well. So if I'm doing a publication search in one of the databases that have multiple newspaper collections in them, if I search from this page, it is going to search through everything within the US major dailies. I haven't narrowed anything down yet, so it will go through all 23 publications. And the default is in title, but we can also search through title begins with, publication summary, subject, whichever you'd like. And if I'll use the Chicago Tribune as an example because I know this is one that has multiple types listed. So we can see right off the bat, there are 3 different ways that these are categorized. So the first is the Chicago Tribune. It lists that it is full text available because it's still the recent newspaper. It lists the full text coverage as well as the citation and abstract coverage. And it will also list out the title history as well. So if this is a newspaper that has gone through multiple title changes, it will list all of those here, as well as when it changed. So I can see here, it started as the Chicago Daily Tribune and stayed that way up until 1858. Then it changed to Chicago Press and Tribune until 1860, and so on. So this one is listed as a newspaper. But then if I go down a little bit further here, now I can see that I have the Chicago Tribune blogs available for me. So this particular category is looks like it ran for a little less than a year, and it's listed as a blog, podcast, or website. But then if I keep going down, I can see that I have the online version of the Chicago Tribune available for me as well, starting from 2017 up until the present day. And then I have a 4th category, which is the another newspaper, but it's the Chicago Tribune pre-1997 full text. So this is that earliest coverage that we have in the recent newspaper collection, 85 to 96. So all that being said, if you're just doing a general search, like from the basic search or the advanced search page, this won't be an issue for you because whatever you type in, it will automatically show up with all of these results in your results page. But if you are looking for a specific publication and you come to this page to do a publication search, this might just be something to keep in mind. A lot of the bigger papers kind of break up their content in this way. So if you are just looking for the newspaper, that will most likely be the first result that comes up for you. But just something to keep in mind if you are interested in reading the online version, or if you wanted to look at the blogs that are available, they are just separated out on this particular page. All right. So now I'm going to hop back over. I'm going to stop sharing very briefly so I can get back to the California kind of homepage to go through one of our historical newspaper collections just to see how it is a little bit different. Okay, so now I'm going to look at the ProQuest historical newspaper collection, and I'm just going to select one single newspaper this time. So I'm going to look at the San Francisco Chronicle. So again, the layout will always be the same for you. Basic search, advanced search, publications. The coverage will be listed here. So now we're looking at 1865 up until 1922. And then it will list out the subject coverage on this page as well. And from my basic search, I'm going to just keep my keyword for climate in the box and go ahead and search. And so now I have 26,000 results that have come up for me. So now we see that there are no longer any videos that match my search on the right side of the page. It is just my results in the center. The default sort by is still relevant. I can still change these to oldest or most recent first. My limiter is still here. I have a wider publication date range now. You can still add any specific date range that you'd like from this screen. I also have options for publication title as well as document type. But again, you'll notice that we had a much longer list of filters from our US major dailies search page. And now we are just down to publication title and document type. The results that come up will still give you the basic information here. Now we see that it's listed as a full text PDF because again, we're in the historical newspaper collection. So these are all going to be PDF versions for you. I have that quick look button that has come up. Site email saved to my research, always going to be on the right-hand side for you. But if I click on this article now I can see that my format is different than our previous example. So basic information is still going to be at the top. My default, it's going to come up as the full text PDF. I also have a page view of the PDF available for me here. And now this particular result only has one page, so there's nothing for me to kind of scroll through here, but I can use the bar to scroll through as I'd like. Similar to our last example, everything will be highlighted in red, so I can kind of scroll through each article and see exactly where my search result has come up for me. If this was multiple pages, I can click on the kind of 3 lines to represent the table of contents, and then I would be able to scroll through those pages here and then be able to click on one of them and immediately be taken to that particular page. I can also highlight or make notes if I'd like. I can add any text. We do have the read aloud feature available on all of these articles as well. It's just not the button at the top of the page. Here it'll be under the 3 dots in the toolbar. So I can have this read out loud to me too if I'd like. And then just all of my basic zoom in and out, full screen, again, going to a specific page. And then I can also save or export from here. And someone has asked, do the non-historical newspapers have the browse function? Did you mean the function that's in this particular view, or was it a different one? I will say the recent newspapers won't have this particular view to them. They do still have that highlighting, so we could kind of scroll through the page. Okay, yeah, the browse this issue function. Yeah, so these are just going to be a little bit different than the recent newspapers. So they won't have this up here at the top. This is something specific to the PDF full text versions. I think the last one just had the highlighting throughout the full text. So you would kind of have to just scroll through, but it won't be the same reader, no. And then just to quickly click on that page view that I kind of briefly mentioned in the slide deck. So now I can see that I'm looking of about all 16 pages of this particular issue. So now, of course, there's much more on this particular page. Of course, I can zoom in and out as I'd like, but here now I can see that I have that table of contents again, so I could scroll through. Or if I'd like to go from page to page, I can put in a specific page number, or I can use the arrows to kind of digitally scroll through each page of this particular issue. And then we have the browse this issue up here at the top. And if I click on this, I'll be taken to a new page. And now once I hover my cursor over each particular page, I can see it outlines in purple. So if I'd like to read this particular article, rather than try to zoom in, I can just easily click on it. I couldn't actually read this title, but here it is now. And now this gives me an easier view to try to read through this specific article. We also have a new option that came up at the top of the screen. It's asking me if I want to go back to my original item that I was viewing, since I kind of clicked through multiple pages, or I can also go directly back to my results as well. And then I know we're coming up at the end of our time, so I just do want to briefly talk about searching through an individual issue. So we're in the historical San Francisco Chronicle. However, you'll see that there are still 4 different publications that are listed out. So similar to what we saw before with the Chicago Tribune, there are 4 different categories to search through. And you'll see all of the dates listed, and any relevant information about each particular issue will also be listed here on this page. So I can do a publication search, or if I just want to scroll through, and I'll just click on the San Francisco Chronicle. Now I can do a search directly within this publication. The full text and the citation and abstract coverage will be listed directly below. I can also do my advanced search options from this screen as well. And then if I scroll down, I can choose which issue that I'd like to view. So it'll start me off, I think, at the very last one that was published within this collection. But if I wanted to go through any of the other options, I could do so. So I'll just go to 1921. It looks like this was monthly. If it's not monthly, those will be listed out. Whichever ones are available will be listed out on the screen. So I'll say I'll stay in December. And then because this was a daily newspaper, I have every single day that is available listed out here. If there are any gaps in coverage, those would also be listed out on this page. So let's say I wanted to hop over to December 22nd, and I'm going to click on Show Issue Contents. So now I am looking at all 100 of the articles that are available within this particular issue. If I want to do a more specific search through just those 100 articles, I can do so here. Or I can just kind of scroll through and see everything that is available for me. And then once I click on this particular article, the view will open up that is exactly the same as if I had clicked on it from my search results page, if I had run either a basic or an advanced search. So no matter which way you choose to search through all of these databases, it will eventually lead you to kind of the same view. It's really just up to you whether you'd like to go through a specific publication or, do just kind of a generalized search with a basic or an advanced option. There's no right or wrong way to do it. I just wanted to demonstrate how many different ways there were to kind of search through all of these databases. And I do just want to very, very quickly hop over to one more. And we'll go back here. Just to point out, for example, so the ProQuest Black Studies database does not have just newspapers within it, but there is an easy filtering option. If you are just looking for newspapers, you can search through all of those newspapers that we have in the collection. There are still publication searching options available in these databases as well. Or if you do a basic or an advanced search, we have the newspaper filter available for you. And if we scroll down right on the home page, we have an option to search through all of the newspapers just directly from here. So once you do that, it'll kind of take you to the advanced search and it'll get you started searching that way. And with that, that is everything that I have for you today. Thank you so much again for joining me.